March 9, 1997. 1:15 a.m. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, Los Angeles. Christopher Wallace is pronounced dead, 24 years old, for gunshot wounds, massive internal bleeding. They tried, 28 minutes of trying, chest compressions, transfusions, everything. But the damage was too severe, the bullets too precise, the loss of blood too catastrophic. At 1:15 a.m., the doctor calls it time of death, and the King of New York stops breathing forever. The medical staff steps back. Standard procedure begins. Documentation, evidence collection, personal effects. A nurse named Sandra Martinez is assigned to catalog his belongings. Everything he had on him. Everything in his pockets. Everything that was touching his body when the bullets hit. She works methodically, professionally, trying not to think about who this is. Trying not to think about the fact that she knows every word to. Juicy. That her brother is ready to die on repeat. That this isn't just a gunshot victim. This is someone who mattered. Someone who changed music. Someone who should still be alive. She catalogs carefully. Wedding ring. White gold. Removed from his left hand. Watch. Rolex presidential. Gold. Still ticking. Stopped at 12:49 a.m. 2 minutes after the shooting. The moment his wrist stopped moving. Chain. Thick. Heavy. Jesus piece hanging from it. Wallet. Black leather. Cash inside, credit cards, license, photo of Tiana, photo of Faith, small things that prove he was human, was a father, was a husband, was more than the headlines will say tomorrow. Then she reaches into his jacket pocket, inner left pocket, close to his heart, and feels paper, folded. She pulls it out carefully, an envelope, white, standard size, sealed, not addressed to anyone, just blank, but heavy, something inside. She holds it up to the light, can't see through, sets it aside with the other belongings, doesn't open it, not her job, not her right, just catalogs it. One sealed envelope, contents unknown, puts it in the evidence bag with everything else. The belongings get transferred to LAPD, homicide investigation. Detective Poole receives them, goes through everything, looking for clues, looking for connections, looking for anything that might explain who killed Christopher Wallace and why. He opens the envelope. Inside is a letter, handwritten, 2 pages, folded neatly, blue ink, Biggie's handwriting. Detective Poole has seen enough evidence to recognize it. The slant, the pressure, the specific way he formed certain letters. This is Christopher's writing, written by his own hand, carried in his pocket, close to his heart. At the moment of death, Poole reads it, once, twice, 3 times, each time understanding more, each time feeling the weight more. This isn't evidence. This is prophecy. This is goodbye. This is a man who knew, who felt it coming, who wrote it down and carried it with him, just in case. The letter is dated March 5, 1997, 4 days before death, written in Brooklyn, before he left for LA, before the Vibe Party, before the Suburban, before Wilshire Boulevard, before everything ended. It reads, March 5, 1997, to whoever finds this. If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. That sounds dramatic, like something from a movie, but I mean it. I'm carrying this letter because I feel like my time is running out. I feel like something bad is coming, and I want someone to know the truth about who I was. Not Biggie Smalls, not the notorious B.I.G., not the character, the real person underneath. My name is Christopher George Latore Wallace. I was born May 21st, 1972 in Brooklyn, New York. My mother's name is Voletta Wallace. She raised me by herself, worked 3 jobs, sacrificed everything to give me a chance at life, and I wasted it for a while. Sold drugs, got arrested, made terrible choices, but she never gave up on me, never stopped believing I could be something better, and eventually I was. I became a rapper, became successful, became famous, but I never stopped being her son. That's what I want people to remember. I was someone's child. Someone's baby, someone who was loved before the world knew my name. I have a daughter, Tiana. She's 3 years old, the most beautiful thing I ever created. When I look at her, I see everything good in the world, everything pure, everything worth protecting. I haven't been the father she deserves. I've been too busy, too focused on my career, too caught up in the beef and the music and everything else. And I regret that. I regret every minute I didn't spend with her. If I could do it over, I'd choose her every time. Over the studio, over the fame, over everything. I have a wife, Faith, and she's pregnant with my son, Christopher Jr. I won't get to meet him. I know that now. I feel it. I won't see him born, won't hold him, won't teach him things, won't be there. And that destroys me. That breaks something inside me that can't be fixed. My son is going to grow up without knowing his father. He's going to hear about me from other people, from songs, from stories, from strangers, and that's not fair to him. He deserves better. He deserves a dad who shows up, who's present, who's alive. I have regrets, so many regrets. The beef with Tupac, that's the big one. We were friends once, brothers, and the industry turned us into enemies. The media made it into war, and we both played our parts. But I never hated him, even when the dices came, even when the threats came, even when it got dangerous. I never hated Tupac Shakur. I respected him, still do, and I wish we could have fixed it, wish we could have talked, wish we could have remembered why we became friends in the first place. But now he's dead, and soon I'll be dead, and the beef will outlive us both, and that's the saddest part. I want my mother to know something. Ma, if you're reading this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I worried you. Sorry I put you through stress. Sorry I didn't listen when you told me to be careful. Sorry I didn't come home more. Sorry I let the streets pull me away from you. You gave me everything, and I gave you fear, gave you sleepless nights, gave you pain. That wasn't fair. You deserve better. You deserved a son who stayed safe, who stayed close, who stayed alive. I love you more than I can say. You're the reason I am anything, the reason I survived, the reason I made it this far. Thank you for never giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself. I want people to know that I tried. I tried to be good, tried to be better than my circumstances, tried to rise above the streets and the violence and the poverty, tried to show kids like me that there was another way, that you could make it out, that you could be somebody. And I did make it out. I did become somebody, but maybe I didn't make it far enough. Maybe I'm still too close to the danger. Maybe success isn't the same as safety. Maybe you can never really leave Brooklyn behind. It follows you, stays in your blood, stays in how you move, how you talk, how you respond when someone disrespects you. And maybe that's what kills you in the end. Not the place, but the piece of the place you carry inside you forever. I'm scared. I don't mind admitting that now. I'm scared of dying, scared of leaving people behind, scared that I won't matter, scared that the music won't last, scared that in 20 years nobody will remember Christopher Wallace. They'll remember Biggie Smalls, they'll remember the legend, but not the person, not the man who was terrified most of the time, who felt like a fraud sometimes, who wondered if he deserved any of this, who just wanted to make his mom proud, and take care of his kids, and create something that mattered. That's who I really was, under the bravado, under the confidence, under the King of New York persona. I was just Christopher, just a kid from Brooklyn, who got lucky and scared and famous all at the same time. If I die, I want people to take care of my family, make sure my mom is okay, make sure my kids are provided for, make sure Faith has what she needs, make sure Junior MFI keeps going, make sure the music keeps playing. Don't let my death stop the movement. Don't let the fear win. Keep creating, keep believing, keep fighting for something better. That's what I tried to do. That's what I want my legacy to be. Not the beef, not the violence, not the East Coast versus West Coast narrative. Just the music, just the hope, just the proof that a kid from the projects can become something more. I don't know why I'm writing this. Maybe because I need to say it. Maybe because carrying it makes me feel like I'm leaving something behind. Some proof that I existed, that I thought about things, that I felt things, that I was more than the headlines will say, more than the autopsy report, more than the conspiracy theories, more than the unsolved murder. I was human. I was flawed. I was trying. I was scared. I was grateful. I was alive. And I wanted that to matter. If you're reading this, I'm gone. Take care of my people. Tell my mom I love her. Tell my kids their daddy was proud of them. Tell Faith I'm sorry. Tell Puffy to keep building. Tell the world that Christopher Wallace was more than Biggie Smalls. He was someone's son, someone's father, someone's friend, someone who tried. Thank you for reading this. Thank you for caring enough to read the words of a dead man. I hope they mean something. Christopher George Latore Wallace, March 5, 1997, Brooklyn, New York. Detective Poole sits at his desk, holding this letter, reading it over and over, understanding what he's holding. This is Christopher Wallace's final testimony, his last thoughts, his goodbye. written 4 days before death, carried in his pocket, close to his heart, found with his body. This is evidence, but it's more than evidence. It's sacred. He makes copies, seals the original, files it with a murder investigation, restricted access, family only. This isn't for the public, not yet, maybe not ever. This is too personal, too raw, too human. The world doesn't need to see Christopher Wallace this vulnerable, this afraid, this honest, not while the wounds are still fresh, not while his mother is still burying her son, not while his kids are still trying to understand why daddy isn't coming home. Poole calls Voletta Wallace, March 15, 1997, 6 days after Christopher's death. Mrs. Wallace, this is Detective Poole from LAPD. I'm working on your son's case. Her voice is broken, destroyed, the voice of a mother who buried her child. Yes, Mrs. Wallace, we found something. In Christopher's pocket, a letter. He wrote it 4 days before he died. It's addressed to whoever finds it, but it's really for you, for his family. Would you like to have it? Silence. Long silence. Then crying. A letter? Christopher wrote a letter? Yes, ma'am. I can mail it to you. Or if you prefer, I can read it to you over the phone. Whatever you need. Read it, please. I need to hear my son's words. Poole reads the letter. All of it. Every word. Every apology. Every regret. Every expression of love. And Voletta Wallace cries through all of it, hearing her son's voice through written words. Hearing him say goodbye, hearing him apologize, hearing him say he knew, he felt it. He carried death in his pocket for 4 days before it found him. When Poole finishes, Voletta can barely speak. He knew. My baby knew. And he went anyway. He got on that plane. He went to LA. He walked into danger knowing it was danger. Why? Why did he go? I don't know, ma'am. Maybe he thought he was wrong. Maybe he hoped he was wrong. Maybe he was just being professional. Doing his job. I don't know. But he wanted you to have this. Wanted you to know how he felt. How much he loved you. Can I have the original? Can I have the actual letter he touched? That he wrote with his own hand? Yes, ma'am. I'll send it to you. It's yours. It was always meant for you. The original letter arrives 1 week later. Voletta holds it. Touches the paper Christopher touched. Sees the ink from his pen. The pressure of his hand. The specific way he crossed his T's. The way his handwriting got shakier toward the end, like emotion was making it hard to write. She reads it 10 times, 20 times, memorizes every word, every comma, every period, every thought her son had 4 days before someone killed him. She keeps the letter private, sacred, doesn't share it, doesn't release it, doesn't let the media turn it into a headline. This is hers. This is Christopher's final gift to her, his last conversation, his goodbye. And she guards it like the treasure it is. 20 years pass. The letter stays private, known only to Voletta, Faith, and a few close family members. The world doesn't know. The fans don't know. The media doesn't know that Christopher Wallace wrote his own eulogy 4 days before death and carried it in his pocket like a talisman, like protection, like prayer. 2017, March 9th, 20 years since Christopher's death. Voletta is 73 years old. And she's thinking about legacy, about truth, about what people remember. The world knows Biggie Smalls, the legend, the myth, the king of New York, but they don't know Christopher, the scared young man, the loving son, the absent father trying to be better, the human being underneath the persona. She decides it's time to share the letter, time to let people see who her son really was. She includes it in a documentary. Biggie, The Life of Notorious B.I.G., releases March 9th, 2017, 20 years to the day after his death. The letter is shown on screen. Christopher's handwriting, his actual words, read by a narrator, slowly, carefully, giving weight to every sentence, every confession, every apology, every expression of love. And the world stops, absolutely stops, because nobody expected this. Nobody knew Biggie wrote a goodbye letter. Nobody knew he carried it with him. Nobody knew he predicted his own death 4 days early. Nobody knew he was that scared, that human, that aware. Social media explodes. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everyone sharing the letter. Everyone crying. Everyone understanding Christopher Wallace in a new way. Not as the invincible rapper. As the terrified young man who knew he was going to die and couldn't stop it. Could only write about it. Could only carry his thoughts close to his heart and hope someone would find them. Would read them, would understand. News outlets cover it. CNN, BET, MTV, Rolling Stone, The New York Times. Biggie's final letter, written 4 days before death. The letter found in Biggie's pocket. Christopher Wallace's goodbye. Everyone analyzing it. Everyone moved by it. Everyone seeing the humanity, the vulnerability, the love. Faith Evans is interviewed. I never knew about the letter until years after he died, when Voletta showed it to me, and I broke down, because he mentioned our son, CJ, who wasn't even born yet. He knew he wouldn't meet him, knew he wouldn't be there, and it destroyed him. You can feel it in the words, the grief of missing a future he knew he'd never see. Lil Cease is interviewed. When I heard about the letter, I realized Big had been saying goodbye for weeks, months maybe. All the weird conversations, all the gifts, all the if something happens to me talks. We thought he was being paranoid. He was being prophetic. He knew, and he tried to prepare us, and we didn't listen. Tiana Wallace, now 23 years old, speaks about it. Reading my father's words, seeing him apologize for not being there, for being too busy. It broke me and healed me at the same time, because I always wondered if he loved me, if he thought about me, and the letter proves he did. He thought about me 4 days before he died. He regretted not spending more time. He loved me, and I needed to know that. 2024, 27 years after Christopher's death, the letter is still referenced, still studied, still shared, still proof that Christopher Wallace was more than Biggie Smalls, was a man who felt his death approaching, who wrote about it, who carried his final thoughts in his pocket like a weight, like evidence, like testament, and that's the story. March 5, 1997, a man in Brooklyn writes a letter, knowing he might die soon, needing to say things, needing to apologize, needing to explain, needing to leave something behind that proves he was human. He folds it, seals it, puts it in his jacket pocket, inner left, close to his heart. 4 days later, he's shot, for bullets, dies at 1:15 a.m. And when the nurse catalogs his belongings, she finds it, the letter, the goodbye, the prophecy. And it stays hidden for 20 years, protected by his mother, sacred and private, until 2017, when the world finally sees. Christopher Wallace knew, felt it, wrote it, carried it, and died with his final thoughts touching his heart. That's the truth. That's the legacy. That's the letter in his pocket.